Y'all, what is going on with these couple goals, these marriage goals, and everything that seems like it's falling apart in social media, or like as far as influencers go? First it was Megan Good, and now it's this couple that I was watching. I heard that they went viral for their wedding video, and I just watched a little bit of the video, but they're like, telling each other their vows and God brought us together and things like that. And not to say that God did not bring them together, but it's literally helping me to reevaluate things, because I do feel like in society we put marriage on such a pedestal, not realizing the work that it actually takes to go into these weddings. In these marriages, we only think about the wedding, where this person's going to say how I'm going to look, what the bridesmaids going to wear, the groomsmen, the pretty pictures, the atmosphere, and those things are fine and dandy, but it's just like a small thing to, the tip of the iceberg. Everything else, like, are y'all compatible? The work that needs to be done, your heart posture to even get into a marriage where you say I do to begin with, that needs to be checked and evaluated. And I'm speaking this to myself because, I realized that I too, will see the pretty pictures on social media of the wedding, like, oh my gosh, one day that's going to be me. And I feel like, that's good to have, but realizing not to idolize anything. You know what I mean? So now I'm telling myself to sit down somewhere, girl, like sit down on imaginations. Just deal with the season that you're in. You know what I mean? You can have hopes and desires, but work what's working for you now. Work being the best single woman that you can now. Heal those childhood traumas and those things now, you know what I mean? Because that also determines the type of mate you will select based off your voids and your lack of understanding, because like attracts like. So if I'm healed in areas where right now I currently could be broken, that will help me attract an even different mate. But you know what I mean? If I'm like dating with voids and things like that, I'm going to attract someone that's, not right for me, quite frankly. But yeah, I'm just like, okay, yes, Synquette, sit down your imaginations. All those couple goals you see in the spotlight, it's so you can pray for them, not to idolize them. Pray for them, because I do believe that the enemy does attack marriages and things like that. So while some people could be looking at a relationship online, they could be looking at it for them to fail. I hope they break up, or not even people, but just the enemy himself. I feel like, learning how to intercede for other couples and pray, Lord, like, let them be long suffering. Let them, seek you for understanding, especially if it's something that they can work out, especially if it's something like irreconcilable differences. Like, okay, we could get on the same page with that, especially, what I'm trying to say, like, it is levels to marriages and things like that. And, as the Bible says, there are reasons why you can leave a marriage or whatever, or a marriage can end. But if it's something like a difference in opinions or something like that, okay, let's try to work it through. Let's work it out, realizing that marriage itself is a depiction of Christ's love for us. Sacrifice. I feel like that's what you really saying I do too. I do. Yes, I will sacrifice for you. I will sacrifice, maybe my preferences or my desires for you, and vice versa. We're doing it for each other, so that way we're still both whole. My cup runneth over because we're pouring back into each other. So that's what this whole situation just helped me to realize. To let go of the Disney fantasy, let go of all that stuff you see, those beautiful B-roll footage of weddings and stuff online. Stop thinking that marriage is gummy drops, rainbows, and butterflies. Now, parts of your marriage, or times, or for the most part, your marriage will be like that. But I think that we're so used to leaving when things are hard and I know how to work through them. We just know how to, whatever, this ain't working, I'm leaving. Whatever, this ain't working, I'm quitting. And I realize that's, and I get it too. because I was watching this documentary on George Washington Carver, and the things that he been through and put up with, the racism, just to get an education, he just stuck with it, no matter how poor or mean people treated him. And I'm just like, wow, we don't have that same stick with itness, you know, that he had, or people in that generation, the generations before us had. We just so easily to throw in the towel. I'm not trying to talk about anybody in particular, but it's just something I realized within myself when I was watching. I was like, I wouldn't take that. But it's just a different generation. But like, he took the stuff in with a smile, you know, he didn't let it faze him. And as we know, George Washington Carver did many amazing things. So it just helped me to realize, like, don't realize what you're signing up for, you know. The attacks get greater, you know what I mean? Because now you're coming together with another person, you're trying to build a family, create a family, and raise them up in the admonition of the Lord. So yeah, it's going to be attacks on that. So I just learned that make sure the things that make a successful marriage are probably the same things that make a successful person. So perseverance, long suffering, these things we can be doing right now as singles, you know. And same thing, like, I feel like women really be putting in that work, but you know what I mean, it could be men that's putting in work too, that we just don't know about. But it just helped me to realize, like, make sure your relationship with Christ is on point, because that's going to be like the core things that you learn in this single season is the same things that's going to help you transfer over into a marriage, if not like 10 times more, because it's just going to be that much more intense. So that's all I wanted to say. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Yeah, because it's really real out here. I want to think of like a question in particular to leave you guys with that maybe you can. Oh, I know. Have you ever idolized marriage or couple goals or things that you've seen on social media? And maybe not idolize, but you just think like, oh, they're so good. Even I went back on that video and the comments just like, oh my gosh, y'all are so this, y'all so that. You know what I mean? I do feel like it was a lot of people rooting for them, but it just really mentally changed my paradigm. And it made me realize, don't force the season. You know what I mean? Get all you can get, learn all you can learn, grow as much as you can grow in this season where you're planted, and let the chips fall as they may. You know, let this season change. I feel like when God finds I'm ready, then okay, that's the next season of my life. But you know, at the same time, it's just something that's you're going to continually grow. I realize that marriage isn't the top goal in life. Like, you get married, but you still have to keep on going with other things, strengthening your relationship with Christ, strengthening your relationship with your in-laws. You know, that could be a something you had to work through too, you know. So it's not just about my happiness and making me feel good. And I realize that's what, you know, our relationship with Christ is. Sometimes doing the things that we really don't be feeling like doing, but we gotta show up and do it anyway. You know, I may not always feel like reading my Bible, but I gotta do it anyway. You know, those things where you gotta override your feelings. And I really feel like, you know, that's a component that kind of will help in a marriage. Married people, let me know. I could be wrong, but doing the things even when you don't feel like it. You know, I'm going to cook this food even when I don't feel like it. Now, of course, my needs are going to be getting met too, but I'm pretty sure, like I said, it's a back and forth. You know what I mean? We're sacrificing for each other, and where like one is getting low, the other one will build them up, and vice versa. So, yes. But other than that, let me know what you guys think, and we will talk again soon. Bye.
Met Synquette, man, the girl was heaven sent. Met Synquette, man, the girl was heaven sent.